Well, hello there, everybody. A little bit of Jake Isles in the house. And I tell you what, that is just some fantastic music. I got to tell you, give me 1 second here as he hits all the buttons. And welcome, everybody. So good to see everyone speaking favor over our lives. And again, the Jake Isles band. Saw them live in 72 when they made that album. Rock and roll, man. Never dies. And if it's in your soul, man, I'll tell you what, it'll revitalize and it'll make you feel alive. And so welcome everybody. So good to see you. Bosto, be of service to others. Then they're going to be service to you. Kind of works out, the whole balance karma thing. And we all like that balance in our lives and, speaking prosperity over us all. Hey, listen, if you're breathing, you're prospering, baby. Hello, Martin and Heidi, Shannon, good to see you. Deborah Sloan, Chloe, much love, dear. David Castle and Rufus, how you doing? Lost in Space, hello, Bridget. Who else? I think I saw Big Al in the room, which I'm sure that his partner there, Perry, is right there with him. Hello, Doris, how are you doing? Hi, Minded, 1111, good to see you as well. Danny, how are you doing, my love? How's the little one? Let's see, who else is Nina's got her show right on after this one, about an hour. Just make sure to tune in on the Hump Day show. Go, good to see you. William, how's it going? JS, Ballot Brand, much love, good to see you. Delina, is that Delina? Good to see you. Kathy, hello. John, what's up? Hey, Trina, much love. Darling, Lisa, hello. Dave Sullivan, good to see you. I think Gaia and Paul are out there. Marcia Price, how are you doing? Rennie, much love, hun. Eric, boy, lots of people. Empowered Rex, Emperor Rex, Empower Rex. There you go. Let's empower Rex. Good to see you. Thank you, one and all. Boy, you know what? If you listen to Jake Isles Band, I'm going to tell you what. You can't help but not get happy. Okay, Sora, good to see you. Shelly, hello. Aaron, much love to you. What else? Hello, Pamela, good to see you again. Well, let's have a toast to us being favored alive, right? Man, spiced tea. Gotta love it. Hey, Mossy man, what's up? Good to see you. So, hey, Big Al, I know you're listening. Am I reading this right? 22,000 truckers are about to be sidelined? Wow. As if it's not already a mess. Let's just add that onto it. Holy crap. Can't believe it. So tune in tomorrow night, the Steiger Perspective, artistfirst.com, 10 p.m. in the East. Figure out your time zone. The theme of it is can you please pass a cup of sanity? Because, folks, it's weird. What else? Oh, so kind of let the angels a couple of days slip, which, they're a patient group. I mean, figure if you're part of the angelic species, I guess this patience is part of your nature. It's not something you have to perfect. It's just what you are. So Elamea, this is the angel of divine power and authority. Love the name, Elamea. So it's got the name of God in the front and the name of the God in the back. There you go. The hidden God. This is the patron of esoteric arts, symbol of great force of will in the areas of transformation. Whoa. Is there anywhere to listen to the replays? Yeah, they're right there on file. Just go over the Artist First, look for the Steiger Perspective. All the shows are available in archive. So there you go. Hey, Jesse, how are you? Michael, good to see you. So let me finish this. Teaches how to make decisions and find life purpose. Shows how to explore life's path. I like that. I mean, is a path just a path, or are there multiple perspectives and aspects in a path? I mean, is a path a straight line, or is a path basically unlimited? I mean, is it really possible to get off a path? I don't know. Hey, Isby, what's happening? Nikki, hello. Linda Brooks, how you doing? I don't know. Answer the question. So is a path merely one-dimensional? I don't think so. I am on a life path journey. This is just one aspect of it. I can look back and see the path and I can go, wow, there were points up here, points over here, points over here, points over here. Just a thought. You know, hey, Peter, what's up? Haven't seen you in a while, buddy. Good to see you back. Beloved Abstract, how are you doing? Delivers righteousness, fairness, and justice. Oh, this angel's been with me. Oh, man. Helps to discover professional orientation. Yeah. Fills you with a sense of initiative and a mind for business. Guides students. Leads to success in projects and business affairs. Honors any commitment related to work. How about play? I mean, does work, how do you define work? Work can be work for one person, can be absolutely a delight and playful thing for another. So when does it become work? Is work a negative word? I mean, does work imply, labor? Does it imply that you're forced to be somewhere where you'd rather be, but you have to make a living because that's what you were sold into when you came into this realm? Where if you get to play, well, you're considered to be lazy. Just asking. Would you just read the damn card? Provides with knowledge, skills, and abilities in the fields of the divinatory arts. Ooh. Would you like me to tell your future? Tell me my present first. Yeah, that's what I say. Shows how to make peace with people who betrayed you. Carries us away from things that have a negative impact on our development. Protects from suffering and diabolical powers. Keeps away from enemies and traitors. Oh, I like this angel. You got to have them all around you, Heals pessimistic thoughts, destructive tendency, inertia. So helps in situations like exhaustion, limits, failures in a professional career, bankruptcy, avidity, and abuse of power. Wow. Pretty cool angel, I would say. Yes, we're traded on the stock exchange, Danny. I'm telling you, these angels are some very cool comrades, no doubt. Back in the USSR. Bum, 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 bum. Uh-huh. Yeah. I mean, if you got it in your spirit, you'll have a full-time party song all the time. So we're going to get into our book. I've actually sent out going to get Pao Chang. He has a YouTube channel too, by the way, of which he gets into his books. It's always good to hear it from the author's perspective. We're just assimilating what his thoughts were, and we add to our gnosis from others, and that's just how we go. Work. Not a freak word. Let's see. WORK. Yeah. Ain't that the truth? Dave says, I can really use this angel. Well, call on it. It'll follow you. It's right there. Cool angel. Ella Maya. Yeah, that is just cool. There's another one in here. So all 2-3 years ago, when I did the teaching on sigils, It's amazing how we've been down this path and how we get to learn. If you don't have this book, you should have it. It's a great one. And if you're not versed at making your sigils, what's wrong? Come on. Listen, if you are truly a living energy, you can create sigils and add them to yours. You can become where you've got sigils. They're all around this office. This freaking office is like, the CERN, but it's amazing because we're going to get into probably one of the most interesting revelations about who and what we are if you live in America. And I'm sure it holds true to no matter what country you live in. They say we live on a planet. I'm only assuming that. I haven't seen the whole planet. So, that requires a great deal of presumption and faith on my part that we actually are living on a planet. But that's what they say. So whatever they say, right? So let's get right into this. This is so cool. All right. The word magic, the birthing process, and commerce. To know how word magic is used to manipulate your body, mind, and soul, you need to know how words are used in the birthing process in commerce. In order for the dark forces and the dark magicians to effectively manipulate you at the physical and spiritual levels, they need to trick you to agree to play the vampiric game of commerce. Money, 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 money. Yeah, because that's what everybody wants. Money, baby. That's the only reason why you're here. Man, you got to have money in your bank account, gives you that black Visa card. Oh, yeah, baby. It's all about money. That way you can be on top and you can watch all the rest below. Man, is that messed up? The best time to trick you to play the vampiric game is the day when your mother gave birth to you. The words that are used for describing the birthing process are strongly related to commerce. For this reason, you need to know some information about merchants and the sea business, or you will have a hard time seeing the connection between the birthing process and commerce. If you have studied the information in the third edition of my enlightening book, Stratagem, we're going to cover that one, you should have little problem understanding the birthing process and commerce. Before there were airplanes, automobiles, and trains, when people wanted to send products to people in other countries, they often sent them in or on a ship. That's where the word shit comes from. Shit. When someone says you're full of shit, they don't know what the shit they're saying, because shit means store high in transit. What they began to find out is when the Caribbean was discovered, and as the ships were making their progress back to merry old England, what they found was that in the bottom of these ships, water was always present, but the cargo, tobacco, bananas, everything like that, sat in that water, that seawater, and it smelt like shit. So the captains then put it down to the ones putting the merchant in. Very valuable merchant was always stored high in transit. I digress, but it's all connected. Using ships to send goods to other countries became so important that many laws were created to protect merchants and their products. The two laws that dominate the sea business were Admiralty law, the law of the sea, and maritime law, law of the merchant. Both of these laws originally heard cases involving commerce on the seas. Eventually, they spread beyond the seas and are now used in most court systems throughout the world. Today, nearly every courthouse in the United States of America, Canada, and the United Kingdom, and certain Western and Eastern countries operates under Admiralty law and maritime law. When countries operate under Admiralty law and maritime laws, it means that their courts are under the jurisdiction of military law and commercial law. And therefore, when people go to court, they are treated as properties and war criminals. When you go into a court in the United States, you're already a war criminal. You have no constitutional rights unless in what you're called a free man's court, a commoner's court. There's only one that exists in the United States today. This is why when people mention their common law or constitutional rights in an admiralty/maritime courts, e.g. U.S. courts, the judge may tell them to sit down and shut the frick up. You ain't got no rights here. There is basically no justice in a court that operates under admiralty or maritime law. Your birth certificate. Yeah. Suckers! I'm one of those two. Let us turn our attention back to ships and merchants so I can explain to you how word magic is used to control your body, mind, and soul. When a ship reaches its destination, the captain orders his crew to prepare the ship to be docked. After the ship docks, the crew can start to unload the cargoes and products off the ship. A ship is also a vessel. So after a ship docks onto a shore, it is considered a berthed vessel, B-E-R-T-H-E-D, those who are listening. And the word berth is phonetically similar to the word birthed. These two words are spelled differently, but they sound familiar. This is one of the ways that word magic is used to deceive us. Before the crew can unload all the cargoes and products off the ship/berth vessel onto the dock, they have to show a certificate of manifest to the dock operator or whomever is in charge of the dock. A certificate of manifest is a record that has information about the products, i.e., the registration number, the country of origin, the manufacturer, etc. A certificate of manifest is basically a birth certificate. On your birth certificate, there is a registration number, country of origin, and manufacturer. Metaphorically speaking, the manufacturers that created you, the product, are your parents. Yeah, you don't have parents. They're a pair that rent you. The process of using ships to deliver products is where the word shipping comes from. Did you notice that the word shipping has the word ship in it? Another word that has the word ship in it is citizenship. When you split the word citizenship into two words, it transforms the words citizenship. Listen, folks, meaning a citizen of a ship. A citizen of a ship means that you are under the jurisdiction of admiralty law and maritime law, i.e., commerce law. These two laws are not common laws or constitutional laws. Instead, they are commercial laws. When a ship is in the process of being docked, it is being guided to berth. The word berth is defined as a space for a vessel to dock or anchor. Based on this information, when a product is unloaded from a ship and onto a dock, it just went through the berthing process, which is the process of delivering the product from the vessel/ship onto the dock. Phonetically, the word birth sounds like the word birth. This is why when a woman is in the process of giving birth, she is said to be delivering a baby. The birthing process of a baby is related to the process of delivering a product on a ship. Every woman has a body. Another word for body is vessel. A vessel can also be called a ship. The words body, vessel, and ship can all mean the same thing and be used to represent a woman's body. This is why a ship is often referred to as she, and the main ship is often called the mothership. To connect the dots, the process of a woman giving birth can also be defined as the process of delivering or birthing a product of a ship. Metaphorically speaking, the product is the baby and the ship is the woman's body. When you compare all the information that you read about commerce and the sea business to the process of birthing a baby, you should see a strong connection between the birthing process of a ship and the birthing process of a baby. By spelling the words birth and birth slightly different and making them sound the same, the dark forces, self-serving thought form entities, and their minions, the dark magicians, can trick you to agree to be a product of a ship so they can have jurisdiction over you. They know that they cannot have jurisdiction over a real you, a living, breathing man or woman made of flesh and blood. But you're saying, but wait a minute, I am flesh and blood. No, you're not. You see what assumption does? It only makes an ass out of you and me. So they can trick you like a product and make money by selling you on the stock market. When you were in your mother's womb, you were surrounded by amniotic fluid, which was made mostly of water. In other words, you were living in a sea of water. Because you were living in water, according to admiralty law, the law of the sea, you can be ruled under this law. Admiralty law is also known as the law of money. What is another word for money? Currency. Phonetically, the word currency sounds familiar to the term currency. Hence, the law known as the law of the sea, admiralty law, while living in your mother's womb, the thing that connected you to your mother was the umbilical cord, which was connected to your navel. Metaphorically speaking, you were connected to the mothership. The word umbilical is derived from the medieval Latin word umbilicus, meaning that of the navel. The word naval sounds familiar to the word navy. Navy is the military of the sea. They did not name that area of your body the navel by accident. By now, you should start to see how all these words are somehow directly or indirectly related to the sea. A very important information you need to know about the word sea is that it has a strong connection to the word energy. By the end of chapter 5, you will know why these two words are strongly related. Evidence that babies are battery prisoners. On average, the fetus lives in the womb of its mother for a little more than 9 months before the fetus is ready to be born. When you were a fetus, you were living in water, amniotic fluid. Shortly after 9 months, you were born from your mother's body, your mother's vessel or ship, through her birth canal. The phrase birth canal sounds very similar to the phrase birth canal. A canal is an artificial waterway that is used by the captain of a sea or boat to berth his vessel, hence the phrase birth canal. When you were born in the hospital, you had to travel through your mother's birth canal. After you came out of your mother's birth canal, you were grabbed by the doctor. The word doctor is pronounced similar to dock-or. The word dock is defined as a platform extending from a shore over water used to secure, protect, and provide access to a boat or ship. As for the word ore, it is defined, that's O-R-E, as a metal-bearing mineral or rock or a native metal that can be mined at a profit. The word ore sounds very familiar, similar to the word oar, O-A-R, which is a long shaft with a broad blade at one end used as a lever for rowing or otherwise propelling or steering a boat. What you need to know about these words is that they all somehow indirectly or directly relate to a ship, the sea, and the process of giving birth. Another word you should know is its deeper meaning is hospital. One of the origins of the word hospital is the old French word hospital, meaning hostile, shelter, lodging. In English, the word hostel sounds almost exactly like the word hostile. The word hostile means not friendly, warm, or generous, not hospitable. A hospital is not a friendly place to give birth to a baby because the hidden role of the doctor is to deliver the baby and turn the baby into a product of a ship, i.e., vessel, to be sold in commerce using the birth certificate as the certificate of manifest. So what the freak are we supposed to be doing here? Is it really about ascension? I may have a good debate because I don't see ascension in any of this shit. None. This is slavery. Before we're even born, we are enslaved. Don't give me no crap about ascension. This is merely commentary and opinion only. The birth certificate becomes a valid certificate after the parents and the doctor sign their signatures on it. Once the birth certificate is signed by all the parties, the information on it becomes a fact. That's important. F-A-C-T. There are different facts. There are facts that are not facts at all, but there are facts that are truly facts. This is one of them. This certificate represents a birth, B-E-R-T-H certificate of a product of a ship, also known as a certificate of manifest. In other words, shortly after you were born, your parents unknowingly agreed to turn you into a product of a ship. Have you ever wondered why newborn babies are kept in the maternity ward? The reason they are kept in the maternity ward is because their parents have signed their natural rights away to the state, turning them into citizens, products, and prisoners of a ship, hence the status citizenship. A ward is defined as a section in a prison. In prison, wards are used for caging prisoners. They are also known as prison cells. Why the word cells? Because prisoners are being used as batteries. The word cell is defined as a device that generates electrical energy from chemical energy, usually consisting of two different conducting substances placed in an electrolyte. That's what we are. We're walking batteries. To connect the dots, babies are put in maternity wards to prepare them to become human batteries. Prisoners are caged in prison cells for the same reason. By the end of this book, you will know exactly what I mean when I say people are being used as batteries. An important information you should know about the word hospital is that it has a strong connection to the secret society called the Knights Hospitallers, which is one of the factions of the Knights Templar, the private army of the Vatican. One of the symbols of the Knights Templar is the Red Cross. The Red Cross symbol can be found on the flag of the United Kingdom and inside of hospitals. Organizations called the American Red Cross, the British Red Cross, and the International Committee of the Red Cross also use the same symbol. What is a symbol? A sigil. All secret societies have symbols that they use to communicate. They operate somewhat like street gangs, but are much more organized and powerful. But like street gangs, secret societies like to mark their territories with signs and symbols to let certain people know that they own those properties or territories. But unlike street gangs that only control a few blocks or a small town, secret societies control countries. All the Red Cross organizations are controlled by the Knights Templar. The United Kingdom is controlled by them too. Be aware, not every member of a secret society is a control addict. Furthermore, some secret societies do not support the enslavement of mankind. Let us turn our attention back to the word doctor. By now, you should know that one of the hidden roles of a doctor is to deliver babies and to turn them into products of a ship or a vessel to be sold in commerce using the birth certificate as the certificate of manifest. Metaphorically speaking, the word or in the word doctor is you, the baby. You represent the or, because you are the battery that is being used as energy to power the artificial matrix of the dark forces. So when you were delivered from the body, the vessel, the ship onto the dock, you, the or, was delivered and put onto the dock. Hence the word doctor. This is why the person who delivers babies in a hospital is called doctor. The doctors or doc's role is to deliver the baby, the or dock the or, onto the shore so it can be sold and used as energy. The or sounds similar to the first syllable of the word aura. Aura is an energy field that is part of a bioelectromagnetic field of the human body. When you split the word aura into two words, you get the term aura. The word or originates from the Latin word aurum, meaning gold. This is why in chemistry, the symbol for gold is Au. The word Ra is the name of an ancient god called Ra, pronounced Re. Well, I pronounce it Ra. He says Re. In Egyptian mythology, Ra was the sun god that was often shown as a hawk. When you put the word sun and Ra together, you get the word Sun Ra or Sun Re, which is connected to the sun god Ra. Every ship or body ship is brought unto the port and docked so the doctor can deliver the body ship, because it is a new liver being produced or a new baby being delivered by the doctor as a docked ore, and the ore that is now docked is ready to be sold. The dark forces view each of us like an ore because we are the ores that are being mined for gold through the process of mind control. The word mind sounds almost the same as the word mind, giving us a clue as to why the Anunnaki came to Earth. One of the main reasons that they came to Earth was not to mine for gold, but to mine for the gold in our minds, because to control our minds is to control the golden blood plasma in our bodies and the golden energy in our auras, which can be used to extend their lifespans or change their sun god Ra. Hence the word aura or Ra or Re. In Greek mythology, the golden blood plasma was called ichor, a gold color fluid believed to be found in the blood of the alien gods, allowing them to live for thousands of years. It is my understanding that this golden blood plasma is found in very small amounts in the human body. However, during the ascension cycle, the human body can produce more of it. That's worth following up on. Certain spiritual teachers believe that the special element that gives golden blood plasma its longevity properties is natural monatomic gold, also known as natural white powder gold. It is my understanding that ichor is the holy oil, known by the ancient Greeks as the Christ, produced in the brain. Etymologically speaking, the word Christ means the anointed. The word anointed has a strong connection to oil. By now, you should start to be having a basic understanding of what dark forces are doing to mankind. This evil agenda to enslave mankind and use people as batteries is what I like to refer to as the Earth Matrix drama. It is essential for you to know that. At the deepest levels, the Earth Matrix drama is a spiritual drama for your soul and energy. So you better start paying attention. By the end of chapter 5, you will know why the dark forces need to feed on the energy of mankind to survive. Let us turn our attention back to the birthing process so I can teach you how the dark forces are using the birth certificate contract to enslave the soul body. In the United States, shortly after you were born, a record was created with certain personal information about you. This record is known as your certificate of live birth, which is not the same as your birth certificate. Be aware that when I say your birth certificate, I do not mean you legally own it. In fact, your birth certificate is legally owned by the state. Shortly after your parents signed your certificate of live birth, the certificate was sent to the United States government. After the United States government registered it and finished doing whatever they need to do to your certificate of live birth, and I believe, this is just my opinion, but I believe there is some very nasty magic taking place in government agencies such as this one. They have powerful witches and wizards that are of the dark forces in every department of the United States government, and most likely in every government of the world. We just think that we elect politicians and people are hired to work. We don't understand that in the heart of these organizations, these bureaucracies, is something very, very nasty. I'll just put it that way. Whatever they need to do with your certificate of live birth, they send you a new version of your certificate of live birth. This is weird now. Which is known as your birth certificate. Your new birth certificate is not the original certificate of live birth because it is actually a death certificate. Let me let that sink in. Every one of us have already been given our death certificate. Do you actually have a copy, or do you know where the original copy of your live certificate of live birth is? The term birth certificate sounds the same as the term birth certificate. It was deliberately done to trick you using the art of homophones and phonics. The word phonic means a method of teaching, reading, and spelling based on phonetic interpretation of ordinary spelling. Phonetically, there is no difference between the term birth certificate and birth certificate because they sound the same. When the United States government created your birth certificate, their intent was to trick your parents to sign your natural rights away and turn you into a product of a ship, a vessel, to be sold in commerce. Therefore, a birth certificate is a certificate of manifest of a product birth from a ship. When the United States government sent your birth certificate to your parents, what they were really doing was informing your parents that you are now a registered product of the United States, the incorporated United States of America. This is why they trade your birth certificate on the stock market. Have you ever wondered why they like to use the word parents to describe your mother and father? The word parents sounds similar to the word parents, which means that a pair that rents. When your parents signed your birth certificate, they unknowingly agreed to allow the United States government to legally own you and make you a product of the United States, the incorporated United States. What this means is that your body and everything you buy or produce using the name on your birth certificates are legally the properties of the state. You own nothing. But there's a lot of billionaires that are going to be shocked because the state can literally come in and take it all. However, your parents are allowed to keep or rent you as long as they pay taxes and take decent care of the new product, the baby you. In fact, the state is very generous in allowing you a child tax credit, a deduction for the dependent. Yeah. The name on your birth certificate is a legal name and therefore represents an artificial person that only exists on paper. In other words, it is a name of a dead thing. This legal name is often written in all capital letters and is not the name given to you by your parents. Instead, it is a counterfeit name created by the government to trick you to do business with its agencies. To be more specific, your real name is a genuine appellation. Only things have names. Furthermore, living and breathing people have autographs, not signatures. A signature is used by a corporate officer to do business with a corporation. Because your birth certificate is marked with a legal name, it is a certificate that represents the birth of a dead thing and therefore is a legal death certificate. The legal name is sometimes referred to as the straw man. This is what the lawyers, bankers, and politicians have used to enslave you. It is a crime known as personage. By arbitrarily creating an estate trust named after you and claiming to own this thing they created, they have falsely claimed to own you and your assets and to literally to buy and sell you on stock exchanges, ship you out of port, and tax you for doing things you've never done. After all, there is no law against enslaving an estate trust, is there? Or arresting a slave, or charging a tax on importing revenue to Puerto Rico. Because your birth certificate has counterfeit name and does not come with full disclosure, it is a fraudulent contract. There is no statute of limitations for fraud, and fraud violates all contracts linked to that fraud. Even though your birth certificate is a fraudulent contract, proving this fraud in court is not easy. One of the best solutions for freeing your soul and the body from a birth certificate, or shall we say death certificate, is to remove false presumptions made by the government. By the way, there are two websites here you can go to help read: freedom-school.com or Ann Ritz, Anna Von, VONREITZ.com. Another great website is the esotericknowledge.me, a private space for living men and women to learn about word magic, natural laws, legalese, freedom, sovereignty, genuine spirituality, and esoteric knowledge. And my looking into this is a collection place for living souls, living spirits. That's why we need to be a part of it. If you've read chapter 8 of my book, Stratagem, you should know that when the United States government refers to the United States of America, unincorporated, most of the time they are talking about the corporation called the United States Incorporated or the United States of America Incorporated. Most of the time they write the legal name United States in all capital letters, and nearly 100% of the time they write it without the ink, so they can trick you to agree to be an employee of the United States Incorporated. As for the name of the actual country, the geographical landmass, it is called the United States of America, unincorporated. In legalese, the United States Incorporated is not the same as the country known as the United States of America, unincorporated. Knowing this fact is very essential for understanding the fraud of the legal system and how the British monarchy and the New World Order have successfully enslaved the American people without their knowledge. The United States Incorporated, also doing business as the United States of America Incorporated, is a corporation that resides in Washington, D.C., a city-state that is foreign to the 50 states. Why do you think the United States has a president and vice president? Corporate law requires a corporation such as the United States to have a president and vice president. It is a right, it's right in your face and hidden in plain sight. The acronym DC stands for the District of Columbia, which is a 10-mile radius district. This district houses the United States Incorporated. So when the United States government talks about the United States, they often refer to a corporation located in the District of Columbia, a foreign district that does not really have anything to do with American state citizens. You are not actually, when you go into Washington, D.C., you are not legally there as a citizen. You are an enemy. And boy, aren't we seeing that today. In other words, they are not really talking about a country. Be aware that the United States citizens are not the same as American state citizens or American nationals. Washington, D.C. is a foreign district for the reason that it is not part of the United States of America, just like the Vatican is not part of Italy. According to the book titled The Matrix of Power, The Secrets of World Control, Washington, D.C., or the District of Columbia, was founded by a powerful Masonic secret society called the Columbians. This district was named after their goddess of liberty. She's what sits on top of the United States Capitol. I've done a video on this. You know, Americans are so damn stupid. They don't even realize they're under a goddamn spell, but yet, yeah, we're going to be patriotic. I voted for Donald Trump because I'm a good patriot. Oh, give me a freaking break. Anyway, also known as Columbia, hence the name District of Columbia. The Columbians also founded Columbia Broadcasting System, CBS, Columbia Pictures, and Columbia University. Did you notice how similar the words Columbians and Columbia are? An important fact you should know about Columbia University is that it's located in New York, a state founded by the York Rite, which is also another powerful Masonic secret society. This is why it is called New York, which means the new state of the York Rite. Are you starting to see how words are used to manipulate us? Because you now know that there are a few versions of the United States of America and that the incorporated versions are the ones that the U.S. government likes to use the most. Let us dig deeper into the birthing process so you can learn how the dark forces and their minions used wordplay and word magic to trick you temporarily to give up your natural rights. Before the invention of computers, when babies were born, hospitals published their birth information in newspapers. Nowadays, because of computers, the internet, and certain laws, they rarely publish birth information in the newspaper. Instead, they send birth information to the government, and then its agents publish it on certain government-sponsored websites. Some examples of these websites are vital record websites. In the United States, shortly after a baby is born, the doctor extracts blood from the bottom of the baby's foot. This process is often called the heel stick test. The bottom of the foot is known as the sole of the foot. Most keep in mind that the word sole sounds very familiar to the word soul. Most doctors do not know the real reason behind this procedure. So if your parents ask them why they do this, they will most likely tell your parents that they extract your blood to test for genetic conditions and diseases. Besides extracting your blood, they also take tissue samples and blood from your mother's placenta. The purpose of taking your blood is to extract your DNA from it. Shortly after extracting blood from the sole of your foot, the blood is sent to the government, so its agents can sequence your DNA to determine your genetic blueprint. Your genetic blueprint is like your fingerprint because no one else has the same genetic blueprint. Because of this, your DNA is the physical proof of evidence that the government can use to identify you. Shortly after the government is done sequencing your DNA and creating your personal file, they publish your birth information on some of the websites that they sponsor. What they are basically doing is telling the public they have found parts of you and someone needs to claim them. Is this like the Lost and Found service? If no one claims you, now this is real. If you're about to have a baby, I hope you're listening. If no one claims them after a certain amount of time, usually 7 years, the government has the legal right to pronounce you as legally dead. The problem with this process is that it is based on false presumptions and fraudulent contracts, and therefore the government is basically committing fraud. Fraud viterates everything. But does the government really care about that? Not really, for the reason they make millions of dollars off of you from this fraud. Be aware that when the government announces you as being legally dead, it does not always mean that you, the living man or woman, are dead. In law, you can be alive and still be called legally dead. Being legally dead can mean that your fictional character, i.e. your legal name, and afterbirth material are dead. The legal system operates on a jurisdiction that deals with fictional things. This is why the laws of the legal system are called acts and statutes, just like the acts and statutes in a play. Because of this, nearly everything it does is unlawful. After reading this book, you will know why the legal system is a big fat fraud. Under admiralty law, if you are missing for 7 years, you can be declared legally dead. This is why people lost at sea are declared legally dead after 7 years. In the United States, the political and court systems mostly operate under admiralty and maritime laws. Both of these laws deal with commerce on the sea. To connect the dots, when the government announces you as being legally dead, what they are really saying is that you are dead at sea. They say this because you are made mostly of water and you were born from a sack of water. Because you are legally dead and the government claims to own your legal name, the government can legally claim your estate. And if any of you have ever had to go through probate court, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This process is similar to when people die and their estates are transferred to people listed on their wills. This is why the government can legally seize your properties and children when you violate their acts and statutes. However, when you rebuke their presumptions and let them know that you are not dead, it makes it much harder for the government to confiscate your properties. When you send a letter or writ to the government to notify its agents that you are not dead at sea, but is alive and well, you are correcting your status and removing yourself from their jurisdiction, which is an imaginary territory that operates in a dead fictional world. After you correct your status, the government now has to acknowledge you as a living man or woman instead of a dead person / legal person. Be aware that when I use the word man in this book, most of the time I am talking about both genders. A dead person, also known as a legal person or legal fiction, has no natural rights, only privileges. An example of a legal person / legal fiction is a United States citizen. Because the United States citizens are legal persons with only privileges, according to the legal system, they have no natural rights. This is why when you, the United States citizen, go to court and shout out to the judge about your natural rights or constitutional rights, the judge will often look at you like you're a fool and may tell you to shut up and sit down or be filed with a contempt charge. Because the legal person, the United States citizen's legal name and corporation is a dead thing, the government has jurisdiction over you. On the other hand, the living, breathing man is not dead and therefore has natural rights, which are unalienable rights here inherently given by God to the living man or woman. The word unalienable means incapable of being alienated, that is, sold or transferred. In other words, your natural rights are superior to all laws made by the government and cannot be sold. Therefore, the government does not have jurisdiction over you, the living man. If you did not skip the first chapter of this book, we did not. By now, you should have seen the word government dozens of times. The word government will be used more times in this book, so it would be wise for you to know the deeper meaning of the word. The common and overt definition of the word government is the former system of rule by which a state, community, etc. is governed. Here is one of the legal definitions of the word government. The system of policy in a state that formed of fundamental rules and principles by which a nation or state is governed, or by which an individual members of a body political care to regulate their social actions, a constitution, either written or unwritten, by which the rights and duties of citizens and public officers are prescribed and defined as an monarchical government, a republican government, etc. The word government originates from the old French word gouvernement, meaning control, direction, administration. To find the occult definitions of the word government, you need to split it into two words, transforming the word government into government. One of the origins of the word govern is the Latin word gruminare, but translates to English as to direct, rule, guide, govern. The suffix ment has a few different origins. One of them comes from the Latin word ment, meaning mind. Based on the occult definitions in the previous paragraph, the word government means to rule the mind or govern the mind. Throughout history, governments throughout the world have always used mind control techniques such as subliminal messages, propaganda, to condition us how to think. The purpose of this is to control how we think so they can rule our minds. One of the most important and effective mind control techniques that the government likes to use to rule our minds is, I think that's mnemonic. The adjective definition of the word mnemonic is assisting or intended to assist the memory. As the noun for mnemonic means something intended to assist the memory as a verse or formula. The word mnemonic originated from the Greek word mnemokos, meaning of or pertaining to memory. Based on these definitions, mnemonic, is something that affects the memory. And I see that I'm just about running out of time and we won't get this done. But hopefully, y'all have really dug this. You can get the book, have it on PDF. You can buy the book. It's a good read. And so Linda says, so why are we taught that Troy and the great civilization descending from it were mythical? Why? I'm getting on top of this. And it's never good to get in the middle of a conversation that you have no idea what's being talked about. Mnemonic, thank you. I always love being controlled and, corrected. It feels so good. And I'm sure you love people following you and correcting you as well, don't you? Isn't it fun that way? Hey, Blazing Ritter, does this not sound like the kinds of extremes one would have to go through to keep an extraterrestrial being? Yeah. And I'm just kidding to the person who put the proper phonetic pronunciation. Quit being so thin-skinned. Come on, man. Jeez. Thank you, Danielle. I'm just kidding you, folks. Come on, quit being so touchy. Love is neither touchy nor fretful, always willing to see the best of every person, willing to forgive. Yeah. Oh, hello, Marie. You know, this is really good information. And I'm going to continue to read this. This is the kind of stuff, because there is a solution to get out of this. Might be a great project for this group to do, is really to come together and to get ourselves declared as no longer citizens. We're not a citizen of a ship. We're living, breathing, sentient beings. We are not dead, fictional commerce. And the fact of the matter is, they have tried to squash this type of information, and it's a bitch to get it in court. Most judges won't allow it. They'll throw it out, no matter how much you try to fight this all the way to the Supreme Court. Because if this ever became known to every American citizen, our country falls apart. The court systems will be shown how corrupt they are. The fact that there is no constitutionality, at least not under the current government that we have. Hey, that's what I do. It's my own language. Hey, as I told you, when I came out of the coma, I had to learn how to talk again. It's not an easy chore. I doubt many of you could do it. So, Paul from New, I see dead people. Yeah, they're all around us. You're looking at one, according to the government. Not just the courts, says JS. Yeah, I know. It sucks. It really does. And if you get a judge that you try to challenge on this, I mean, let me just give you a little word of advice. Don't ask a judge if this is a common man's court or a court of admiralty. It's not recommended. I can just tell you that right now. You're likely to find yourself spending the night in your local jail. All right, everyone, join Nina over on her channel. The cookie crumbles. Yeah. This is good stuff. I'm telling you. And what it really does, it just, gotta be honest with you, just flat pisses you off. I mean, to think of us of this low, this is what just infuriates me. You've got other people who think that their shit don't stink and that they somehow got the right to make laws, mandates, and other stuff and force and subject us to it, but they themselves are completely immune. Sucks. We've been duped. All right, let's see if if Big Brother loves this video. I guarantee they don't. But hey, I recorded it and I can post it again and again and again. So there. All right, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, we're getting smarter. And listen, and you know, if we apply this to our spiritual knowledge, there's a key here. This is a key that opens a door that they don't want us to go through. All right. I say, eat my shit and die. Indeed. All right. Much love, folks. Hey, listen, love is the answer. It is the only answer. Loving one of each other, not holding each other up to a political, religious, or theological or ideology, just loving each other. No matter how different we are. That's what it's about. All right. I'm out of here.